Hi everyone. Today in this video we are going to cover another topic which is known as item charges in Business Central. So the concept behind this is that when we purchase something, for example an XYZ item, when we purchase that for some amount, against some amount, so we are going to book that transaction in Business Central. And against that the unit cost will automatically be calculated against that. But what happens normally when we purchase something, we need to pay some sort of a shipment against that. And shipment normally applies on all the items we have purchased. For example, we have purchased like 10 different items and the quantities are like 100,000, maybe like 500, 600, something like that. Okay, and we pay actually an accumulated amount against that, which is known as like landed cost or the shipment cost, and we are going to allocate that amount in the unit cost of each item. So how we can handle this scenario in Business Central? So this particular item charges is not only restricted towards the shipment cost, but all the other costs that are considered as additional costs are going to be considered over here as well. For example, like the custom charges or the insurance or related charges, you can say. So over here, I have like open the landed cost description on the Google. Like it's the total cost of getting a product from its point of origin to its final destination, including the purchase price. Definitely, we are going to consider that. But the shipping, insurance, custom duties, taxes, and other related fees as well. So how we are going to handle these all charges in Business Central, we are going to look into this video. Okay, so if I come back to Business Central and now we can start over here, I have created like two items over here. If I just apply the descending filter, it will bring the latest one on the top. So these two are actually the item which I have like created in Business Central, and we are going to run the scenario of that. Okay, the unit cost you can see it's like 100 because we didn't purchase anything. You can see the quantity is on hand is 0, so unit cost is you can say is editable. But once we are going to purchase against that, it is going to get uneditable over here. Okay, if I open any item which or against which I have purchased something, you can see over here the field will automatically becomes uneditable and system is going to calculate the average unit cost over here. So now we are going to create a purchase order over here and going to show you how we are going to uh, how the costs will get vary when we are going to purchase and apply the shipment cost on that. So just select it the random, you can say vendor, and now over here the items are this one and 15th one. Okay, and against in which location we are going to purchase that, it's the main location. Okay, and the quantities we are going to purchase like 100 just to keep the calculations as easiest as possible. Okay, direct unit cost maybe like 100 as well. Okay, so you can see like 1000, 10,000 unit line amount over here, as well as 10,000 amount for the second one. Okay, or we can change like a little bit just to change something over here. Now once we are like pretty much done, so we are going to specify like the quantity to receive, how much we are going to receive. Okay, so just entering that value and now going to post that. Okay, so definitely if we like open the posted invoice and check the entries over here in the GL entry, we can see like 20,000 listed accounts. Okay, or 18,000, sorry, the 8,000 plus 10,000 one. Okay, against this purchase account. Okay, this is the cost of materials, actually the purchase account. Okay, now what we will do, we are going to come back to the items. Okay, check the item over here. Okay, this is the one for which we have purchased like 100 amount, sorry, 100 quantity. Okay, and the unit cost is 100. Okay, simple, because as you can see this is uneditable, so over here I can see unit cost is 100 and against the quantity 100, so the actual cost amount is 10,000. Okay, now we are going to quickly purchase another uh, and we are going to create another purchase order and we are going to assign these two items again. Okay, let's assume like this is some sort of a different vendor. Okay, So now if I just paste the value, next one is the 15th, and over here now we are going to change the quantity. For example, it was like 180 before, now 120 and maybe 90. Okay, and we are going to change the unit cost as well. For one, we are going to specify it was 100 before. Okay, now we are going to specify like 105, and over here against 90 we are going to say it's like 85. Okay, so now we are going to do the same thing and going to receive an invoice. So it's like specifying it, yeah, it's telling me to specify the quantity to receive over here. Okay, so it's like 120. The first one is 120, and the second one is 90. Okay, now we are going to post it, simple. So if once it is posted, we are not going into the entries right now. We are going to update it, reload it. Okay, so you can see the unit cost automatically changes. Okay, if I click on that, so I can see over here like 105 against the quantity of 120. So if I open the calculator, so we can calculate, I can specify what is the exact formula against which this 102 point something value, the 0.73 value is calculated. Okay, so over here you can see like 10,000 amount. Okay, and the 12,600 amount, 10,000 plus 12,600 divided by the total quantity, which is 220. Okay, it's 102.727, means it's the round of value is 102.73. Okay, this is how it is calculated. Now we are going to apply the item charges on that. Okay, we are going to create another one. Okay, let's assume that the shipment is going to handle by the separate vendor. Okay, and specifying the value. Okay, over here the type we are going to select item charges over here, like the charge item. Okay, and over here I am going to select what sort of a charge item it is. So in my case it is actually the freight. Okay, which I am going to pay to the vendor for delivering these two items which I received before. Again, I'm going to specify the location if I want to, and in the quantity, let me specify just one. Okay, the amount may be like 1500. Okay, let's assume it's 1500. Okay, and over here, there are two ways to go and check the entries for this particular item charges. Is to click on this number 0 inside the quantity to assign. It will open the item charge assignment. Okay, and there's one more way. Okay, so there's one more way, item charge assignment. Okay, so both methods are the same. Okay, so now over here, now I'm going to pick like uh, lines from the receipt, okay, which is already posted in the system. So if I come down to the last, I can see the latest one over here. You can see the 90 and 120. Okay, let's pick this one, these two lines. Okay, so how the system is going to assign the values to these two items. Okay, the first question comes that, for example, the total amount is $1,500. Okay, now I would need to are we going to assign them equally? Are we going to assign them on the basis of what parameters actually? Okay, so system provides us like majorly four methods over here. If I click over here, this is just item charge assignment, and if I apply equally out of 1500, system will not going to check that this item I purchased more or less. It is not going to consider that. It is just going to apply the equal amount to all the items you are going to purchase. Okay, which is a good method, but not the best method. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to check that one also by, I'm going to just make it 0, suggest item charge assignment, and by amount. Okay, the bigger the item, the more item I will buy. For example, in this particular case, I purchase this quantity, this item more than the second one. I purchased like 120 quantity for this. Okay, and for this I have purchased 90 quantity. So system has allocated that on the basis of that. Okay. Okay, so this is the second method which is normally being used. Okay, over here there are like two fields. which we need to consider. Okay, which we need to consider the gross weight and the unit volume. Okay, so if I just make a zero again, just to show you the other method, if I click over here, it is saying how do you want to distribute your assignment charge based on the weights. So if I click on the weight and I click on OK, so it is going to distribute that on the basis of this particular gross weight field. Okay, and if I go back again and I'm just going to make it zero now. Okay, and suggest item charge again by volume. The system is going to bifurcate that on the basis of this field. So how does system is picking these two fields? Because in the complete scenario, I didn't show you that where we have actually entered this gross weight or the unit volume. So if I come back to the item charge, I go back. So over here in the inventory section of on item card, there are like fields over here, gross weight and the unit volume. So if we specify that over here, for example, for the 14 one, I specify 8 and 6. And if I come over here, so it's like gross weight 14 and 15, 8 and 6, okay, 8 and 6, okay, unit volume, okay. And for the 15th one, it's 6 or 7. It's like 6 or 7, okay. Or over here, if I come back over here, it's 7 and 9, okay. If I go back over here, it's 7 and 9. Sorry, I just checked the net weight. So it's in the gross weight, 7 and 9. Okay, so that means it is picking from this particular field. Okay, there is one more area on which we do specify the weight. Okay, is actually if I go to the related item unit of measure, so we can also specify weight over here. But remember, system is not going to pick this particular weight in the case of item charges. Okay, so this is how item charges methods we can use. Okay, let's use the method which is mostly being used by the companies by amount. Okay, it's distributed. If I click on close and simply going to post it, let's do it. Yes, for example, we're going to check for the 14th one. Okay, and if I go to the find entries, GL entry, so you can see the amounts over here. If I come back over here again and just refresh it, okay, just so every calculation will be done again. Okay, so over here you will find the calculation changes automatically. Okay, it was actually 105, now it is 112. The unit cost was 102, now it is 106. Okay, so system is picking how. Okay, that's the question. So it is considering this particular unit item charge amount which we have specified in the item charge assignment page. Okay, so that's how system is calculating this. Okay, so this is pretty much all for this video. Okay, uh, also now in the next video we are going to cover another important topic. So if you uh, if you learn something new from this video, click on the thumbs up button. Thank you and bye.